Can you?
What's happening, guys, and welcome back to the Riot. Today, I'm going to be giving my review of Creed 3. And when I say my review, I mean my very, very short review of Creed 3. And before I do that, I kind of want to preface this whole thing with I am a huge, huge Rocky fan. Anyone who knows me knows growing up, like those were just my movies, right? The way some people felt about Star Wars or Star Trek, the Rocky movies were that for me, right? I had the posters, I had the soundtracks. When I worked out, I used those movies as my motivation. So believe me when I say I am a diehard Rocky fan. And when I heard that they were going to be doing these Creed movies, when I first heard, I was very hesitant, really skeptical, wasn't sure. Then I heard Sylvester Stallone was going to be a part of it. And, I started to feel a little bit more ease about them, touching the series because, I love these characters so much. And, finding out that this was going to be Apollo Creed's son, especially, I, you know, I had an eye on him. So, anyway, turned out loved the first movie. Loved Creed 1. I liked Creed 2 a lot. I didn't love it as much, but I really liked the fact that they brought back one of the greatest screen villains of all time in Ivan Drago and even introduced his son, Victor Drago, who was played by, I think his name is Florian Montagu. I think he's a real life MMA fighter or something, but huge guy, huge guy. And I love that whole dynamic, right? Of bringing Rocky's past into Adonis's present, right? So that kind of brings us now to Creed 3. And this is where I think the movie or the series has kind of taken its next step to evolve, right? Because this is the first Creed movie without Rocky Balboa in it. And I know a lot of people were kind of hesitant. I've even seen people online saying, you know, no Stallone, no Creed, and I'm not going to watch it if Rocky's not in it. And believe me, as a Rocky fan, I understand that, right? Like I wanted Rocky to be in it at first, but the thing about this movie is it actually works better. This movie works better without Rocky in it because in the last movie I believe Rocky had developed cancer and, his health took a turn, right? So I didn't see a point in bringing that character into this movie where, he's still sick and, I don't want a movie where Rocky dies. I don't want to see that. And that would have been kind of like, and I think Alan Ing brought this up in Film Threat, that would have been like the next step in bringing Rocky into Creed 3. It's having to kill him off, right? I don't think anybody wants to see that happen. So, and also in this film, Adonis Creed is retired, right? The movie starts with Creed retiring from boxing as the champion. And there's no need for Stallone to be there if Creed isn't fighting anymore, right? So I felt Stallone not being in this film, though missed, doesn't hurt the film at all. And as far as what I liked about this movie the most, it's really just how every character had a level of depth to them, right? Like there, no one was phoning it in. Every character was believable. Even Jonathan Majors, who plays his friend Damien, who goes to prison for 18 years for something that Adonis kind of did. Even him as the villain, he's very three dimensional. So there's times in the film where you feel bad, you feel for him, right? And some people even think on some level in this film he's actually the hero of the story. So it's really kind of an interesting dynamic there. And every actor kind of just brought their A game to this film. Felicia, I'm talking about even supporting, Felicia Rashad, who plays his mom, gives this heartbreaking scene in the film. A lot of you guys remember her from The Cosby Show. Tessa Thompson plays Adonis's wife, and I got to tell you, man, to watch an actress, right, to watch a character, especially nowadays, especially a black actress play a very supportive wife is so rare these days in film. And I think she played this so well because she plays a very supportive wife who does challenge him, but doesn't emasculate him, right? Like she wants him to figure his own stuff out and gives him the room to do that. But at the same time, reminding him that, hey, you have a family to lead and you have a daughter, and so she just plays this great balance, right? While at the same time having her own issues that she's dealing with because she is a musician who's going deaf. So she has her own issues. And I love that she was able to convey all of that in the film. But the meat and potatoes of this movie is Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors. You can feel the animosity between these characters, but at the same time, you can kind of feel the brotherly love between them because they were childhood friends, right? And the hurt is believable on both sides. Uh, See, the thing about these movies, man, is that they are a drama with action beats, right? Like just like Rocky. If you watch Rocky 1 and 2, the only fights happen really at the end of the film. These are dramatic movies. Now, yeah, in the 80s, it became a little bit more well, it was 80s. So a lot more focused on action, that whole deal. Still had heart, but just not a drama like the first two movies were, right? So I feel like both of these guys, Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, they give this just great performance as brothers who are hurt, right? They're hurt by each other, they're hurt by other people in their lives, and they sell it, man. They sell this whole film for me. Especially a film where most people are going to be a little disappointed that Sylvester Stallone isn't in it, right? And I feel like there wasn't one point in the movie that dragged. I felt like everything was, the pace was just right throughout the whole film. And I would say for me, this would be my second favorite Creed movie after the first movie, for sure. And the cool thing about this too is they do have callbacks from the second movie, right? Like Victor Drago plays a part, a kind of a big part in this film. So the fact that they were able to bring Florian, the actor, back for this character, man, and kind of showing the legacy of Ivan Drago staying in the Creed universe, I thought that was so cool, man. I thought that was cool, right? Like keep him in that universe, right? And the torch has been passed, right? And that's what these movies really are. That's what they're about, is passing the torch from the old generation to the new. So you know what, guys, that's going to be it for me because I don't want to give away anything. I mean, there's tons of spoiler reviews out there, and they're more than willing to spoil the movie. But I actually do want you to go see it. And I got to be honest with you, man. For me to be able to have a film that I can actually say go watch, like you have no idea how happy that makes me, right? Because I've seen so much garbage, right? So much bullshit that to actually have a movie I can recommend feels good. And there's also one more thing I want to bring up, and that is, not as a Rocky fan or as a movie fan, but as a boxing fan, I love the callbacks to Mike Tyson in the character Damien. Like I feel like whoever came up with that design for Jonathan Majors literally had Iron Mike Tyson in mind. Like there's times where the way he fights, his ring presence, the way he looks going into it's all just remnants of Mike Tyson, who is literally my favorite boxer of all time. So whoever put that together, I see you. Good call. It's appreciated, man. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. Yes, highly recommend watching Creed. And guys, you know what? If do me a favor, if you're subbing me here, follow me on Twitter as well because I'm a lot more vocal on Twitter. to say the least. I'm a lot more, let's just say, unchained on Twitter than I am on YouTube. So I think you'll get some enjoyment out of out of the stuff I tweet about. But anyway, guys, yeah. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, please, by all means, sub to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who have already subbed, I definitely appreciate you. So I'll talk to you soon.